Красный!
February 2025. The video shows the 155th Marine Brigade's air observation post in action. An automatic rifleman and a fighter using shotguns provide covering fire, while the operator of the Yelka air defense drone successfully defeats enemy UAVs with kinetic interference by performing a pursuit flight to a distant target. The use of pocket air defense at air observation posts in the NWO region multiplies the capabilities of their calculations in terms of range and effectiveness of interception of enemy air targets. The Russian fighters in the video show indescribable emotion.
Ой! Вот так вот это делается, нахуй! Ебать тебя в усы!
98th Airborne Division in Konstantinovsky direction. Airborne Division in the direction of Konstantinovsky. It shows a Ukrainian armored vehicle blown up after hitting a mine near Chasiv Yar. Then, a pickup truck coming to evacuate the crew is shot down by FPV drones.
Фамилия, имя, отчество?
Колочко Виталий Олегович.
Подразделение какое у тебя?
92-я бригада.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe and like.
An archive image. Infantry of the Armed Forces of Ukraine retreating in the direction of Kupiansk. The infantry is under intense Russian artillery shelling. They run in panic and fear. The Humvee armored vehicle used by the Ukrainian armed forces was destroyed in a powerful explosion as a result of a landmine planted by the Russians. Russian armed forces and mercenaries clashed at close range.
Machine guns right where that second round hit.
The mercenaries were planning to destroy the Russian forces, but something went wrong.
CB, yeah! Through that room. We gotta go forward. One guy on that machine gun. You guys cover.
The mercenaries were shot down one by one.
Look! I'm hit! Run down! Get there! I'm hit! Are we going to go there? Take cover, mate. That's it. Go. Are you okay?
Russian drones are carrying out aerial attacks, while Russian infantrymen continue to open fire on the mercenaries. The mercenaries are stuck in the grass and weeds, trying to shoot down the drones in the air while trying to fight the Russian soldiers nearby.
Yes!
It had a f***ing grenade on it! Woo!
Russian reconnaissance UAV operators have uncovered a bunker actively used by infantrymen of the Ukrainian armed forces. Attack drones then mobilized and destroyed the bunker with a single strike. Footage of the combat work of the 3rd All-Union Army of the South Troop Group to destroy the control center and the takeoff point of the UAVs of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Seversk direction. The footage shows wounded Ukrainian soldiers leaving their positions after a clash with units of the Russian armed forces. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. New footage of the work of artillery crews and UAV operators of the Anvar Special Unit. From different distances, the Russians are destroying and capturing fortresses, bunkers, communication centers in various areas of Kharkiv and Sumy regions. Russian artillery is intensively and accurately hitting the positions one by one.
Короче, контент нас находит, ёбаный. 300-й, походу, щось, ну.
Russian armed forces artillery shelling Ukrainian positions, footage recorded by a Ukrainian soldier on his cell phone. How do you think this footage leaked on the internet? Did the soldier share this video on the internet, or did the Russians intercept his phone?
Быстренько съёбуємось в підвал. Опа, криші нема. Ого, підвал засипало. Хатики, ви тут? Приймайте вещи. Ебать, контент подъехал.
Стопчик,
Да.
иди сюда.
An archive footage recorded by the Ukrainian armed forces. The Russian drone was chasing a Ukrainian pickup truck when the driver panicked, drove into the trees, and crashed. As far as I can tell from the video, Ukrainian soldiers are sawing down the trees that the vehicle crashed into. It looks like they are doing this to save the vehicle. But do you think that's necessary? Because the vehicle looks like a wreck now. What's the point of saving this vehicle?
Дали нам пилку, а вона, блядь.
The Ukrainian armed forces mobilized near Kupiansk, but the Russian army destroyed all the equipment. The guards of the 121st Regiment of the 68th Division of the Western Troops are destroying Ukrainian armed forces equipment in the direction of Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region. Using fiber optics, they shoot pickups, armored vehicles. Footage of the artillery of the 3rd Combined Arms Army of the South Troop Group destroying long-term shelters and living forces of the fighters of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Seversk direction.
Выстрел!
An armored vehicle used by the Ukrainian armed forces in the Pokrovsk direction caught fire as a result of Russian attacks. Another armored vehicle arrived to evacuate the troops in the area and evacuated the troops. When it rained the next day, the flame of the armored vehicle was extinguished. It was no longer usable and was left alone to be scrapped. Air battles in the Sumy region. The Ukrainian armed forces continue to actively use heavy UAVs of the Baba Yaga type all over the front line. These helicopters, which can carry both heavy anti-tank mines and containers with anti-personnel mines, pose a serious threat to Russian troops. Russian reconnaissance UAVs shot down the Baba Yaga in order to destroy it. At the same time, the cost of a heavy Ukrainian helicopter still exceeds the price of a single reconnaissance UAV, and Baba Yaga operators are often transferred to strike squads for losing an expensive drone. Russian fighter destroyed 2 Ukrainian FPV drones using AK.
Yes!
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1,
A Russian fiber optic drone blew up a basement of the Ukrainian armed forces. UAV operators and artillerymen of the 29th Guards All-Vostok Army destroyed the temporary deployment point and bunker of the armed forces of Ukraine in the settlement of Bogatyr. Russian reconnaissance drone operators detected a UAV control point from which the Ukrainian Armed Forces Baba Yaga drone was controlled. First, the Baba Yaga UAV was shot down, then the UAV control point was destroyed. Soldiers of the Russian armed forces acted after detecting the Ukrainian drone and successfully destroyed it by hiding behind trees.
Yes, красавчики, да, блядь. Конечно.
Russian reconnaissance revealed the movement of the American-made Bradley of the Ukrainian armed forces in the vicinity of the border village of Iskryskivshchina, Sumy region. As a result of the hard impact of the Russian FPV drone, the Bradley armored vehicle tilted on its side. Russian UAV operators in the Sumy region found 5 Kozak armored personnel carriers in an underground garage of the Ukrainian armed forces near Novaya Pisarevka. The 5 armored vehicles were then destroyed in the garage by Russian FPV drones. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. In a small section of the front line near the border village in the Sumy region, near the Russian border, a Russian FPV drone hit the 4-wheeled ATV vehicle of the Ukrainian armed forces hard. First Armored Army operators shot down a Ukrainian pickup truck. A UAV crew shot a Ukrainian logistics transport vehicle several times before setting the vehicle on fire with an incendiary shell. This is how a Russian aircraft-type attack drone hit the Ukrainian armed forces position in Chasiv Yar. Aircraft-type drones with powerful ammunition carry out impressive attacks on designated targets. In the Pokrovsk direction, the 255th Regiment continues to strike the equipment of the Ukrainian armed forces. Fiber optic drone Prince Vandal of Novgorod was used in these attacks. After an accurate hit, the armored personnel car lost its rotation. The personnel quickly left the vehicle and hid under the trees. Image's airborne troops had earlier attacked Belovody, and now they are clearing the last, southern part of the settlement in Sumy region. They are hitting bunkers and temporary deployment positions of the Ukrainian armed forces. Night attacks in the direction of Kharkiv continue. Throughout the night, VT-40 drones struck armored vehicles and pickup trucks of the Ukrainian armed forces, preventing frontline soldiers from accessing ammunition and various military equipment. In the daytime, fiber optic drones took off and destroyed manpower and various ATVs in the same direction. The Russian Defense Ministry announced that the Western group raised the Russian flag in the village of Novoye. Heavy clashes between Ukrainian and Russian troops took place in the area at very close range. The infantry, whose bunkers were hit by drones, were shelled by artillery fire before they could find a safe place. Meanwhile, trenches and bunkers were raided by Russian troops. As a result of aircraft-type UAVs capable of dropping ammunition, and close-range fire from Russian infantry, Ukrainian troops suffered many casualties and retreated. A Russian soldier placed an anti-tank mine on the road and ran over a Ukrainian armored vehicle. The crew of the armored vehicle abandoned the vehicle. Soldiers of the 102nd Regiment of the 150th Motorized Rifle Division of the 8th Guards, Combined Arms Army of the Russian Armed Forces, are clearing positions from the Ukrainian Armed Forces infantry. Some of the Ukrainian infantry cannot withstand the intensity of the fire and decide to surrender, thus saving their own lives.